Good afternoon. My name is Jackie Simeon. I'm Director of Community and Media Relations for the Beaumont Independent School District. We thank you for being with us this afternoon. Dr. Allen will be addressing you, the members of the media, and we also have members of our Board of Trustees here who can answer questions if they wish as well. But we will start with Dr. Allen, who will address you and then take questions.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. As you know, campuses and districts in the state of Texas are rated on the A through F system depending on how well students perform on one snapshot in time, the STAR assessment. And struggling campuses are on a time clock, and they cannot have 5 years of consecutive low performance. Today, our district received formal notification from the Texas Education Agency of its intention to appoint a board of managers, appoint a new superintendent, and a conservator for our district. This action was triggered by law due to consecutive unacceptable ratings at 2 campuses, M.L. King Middle School and Phil Price Elementary School. Despite the fact that King was closed in 2024 and Phil Price Elementary was operated by Third Future Schools for the past 2 years and other partners prior to that, the commissioner made a decision to move forward with this appointment. The accountability ratings outlined by the commissioner are real, and they reflect challenges in our community and district that did not emerge overnight. But I also want our community to understand that Beaumont ISD, our story cannot be told by one snapshot in time. The district has been doing hard work over the course of the past several years, and we have not been standing still. Over the past many years, our teachers, our principals, our entire staff, they have poured themselves into the work of educating the nearly 16,000 students in our community. We have implemented new programs, we have implemented new curriculums, we have implemented innovative programs, we have increased early literacy rates, and we're still continuing to do so and made gains in third grade reading. We have extended CTE pathways and opportunities. We've been making progress, and this year I've shared with our community that 16 out of 22 of our campuses showed an increase in the overall accountability ratings. The effort and the work matter. They make a difference for the children that we educate each and every day. At the same time, we recognize that the improvement has not happened fast enough in every single school. Some campuses, or many campuses, have faced deep generational challenges rooted in our community. We've suffered and struggled through hurricanes, pandemics, systemic poverty, student mobility and trauma, single-family homes, and historic academic challenges. And I'm not excusing these results. However, the reality is that sustainable turnaround takes time and it takes consistency. And I feel like the work that we're doing is transitioning in that way. Although the commissioner made the decision today, I want our students, families, and staff to know that we will continue to do the work of creating the vision, making the vision a reality in Beaumont Independent School District. We will continue to operate with professionalism and full transparency throughout this process. Our work does not stop. Our schools remain open, our teachers remain in classrooms, our principals will continue leading campuses, and students will continue learning. Everything that we do tomorrow and the following days will look like it did today, because our responsibility does not pause, and we will remain focused and committed to our goal this year of going all in all year. We stand by the work that we've done and the work ahead, and I'm really proud of our staff for what they've done, proud of our students and the gain and the accelerated work that we've done. And finally, I want to make certain our staff understands that the work that they do matters. Their commitment matters, and nothing about this decision diminishes the work that they have poured into, the time, effort, and energy that they have poured into our students in Beaumont ISD, and that they will continue to. Our narrative is not a narrative of failure based on one test. It is a narrative of ongoing commitment and effort by a team that truly desires and will continue to do their very best for the children in this community. The commissioner made his decision, and his decision is to replace the upper level leadership, meaning the superintendent and the board of trustees. However, again, my commitment, and I know the commitment of the board of trustees who's standing behind me, remains the same. Until that day happens, we will continue to do the work. So at this time, I thank you for participating and being here. If you have any questions that I may be able to answer, I'll be happy to do so. We also have trustees present as well.
Dr. Allen, have they given you a timetable yet on when the state will make the change?
From my understanding, I think immediately information for potential community members to apply to become a possible applicant or candidate for the Board of Managers is actually live, or if it's not live today, it will be live tomorrow, I guess, through TEA's website. So from that point, the commissioner and his team will solicit individuals who are interested applicants. They will interview those applicants and determine which individuals will actually serve in the capacity of Board of Manager. How long that will take, I do not know. I'm assuming and making an assumption it'll be sometime in the spring.
In the meantime, what will your and your board's role be in this?
Our roles will continue to be the same. I will continue to lead the district. The board will continue to govern the district. We will have the appointment. The commissioner indicated that he will appoint a conservator as well to be in the district. So I'm not certain what that timeline is as well, but I expect that will be early in 2026. But our roles remain the same.
Daniela?
Do you agree that this was the right decision that the state took?
So I disagree with this decision. I was very disappointed and frustrated with the decision based on the most recent visit we had, based on the work that we've done, the innovations, the effort, the energy, the intensity of Beaumont ISD implementing so many initiatives and really and truly working hard to drive systemic change in our community. While both decisions, which was to either close Fail Price, those were the possible options, was to close Fail Price and ML King, but we know ML King was already closed. The commissioner could have ordered the closure of Fail Price. While we didn't want to close a school either, the least disruptive option would have been the closure of Fail Price. Currently, 315 students, approximately 315 students are enrolled in that campus, and we could have easily absorbed those students in some of our other elementary schools. So I do not agree with the decision. I do not support the decision. I support my students in the community and will do everything in my power to continue to educate them for as long as I'm remaining in this seat.
Does the ISD plan to repeal the decision in December?
I am going to discuss that with my board, so I have not had an opportunity to discuss that, so there is an opportunity for an informal review next week with the commissioner. It's actually going to happen regardless on December the 16th, where he will informally review the data and the information to determine whether or not he may change his decision, so I'll have that discussion with the board.
And when it comes to just the initiatives and everything you guys have put in place in those programs, are you guys seeing progress since?
So this year, as I mentioned at the beginning, when you look at last year's data and overall performance of the district, the overall accountability ratings, we have campuses that are struggling, but 16 out of 22 campuses showed an increase in the overall accountability score. So we're making progress. This year we made more additional changes through implementation of Bluebonnet for third grade math. We have done some other things and other initiatives that we expect to see significant gains at the conclusion of this school year.
And just with that progress, so was this decision, or the team's decision, a surprise to take over?
I didn't hear you.
Was this a surprise then with their decision?
I will tell you that I was surprised because I was expecting a different decision. Just based on our conversation and our meeting with the commissioner. I mean, I knew it was an option, but I was still optimistic based on the fact that Beaumont ISD had a board of managers several years ago, and there was a different option that's less disruptive than removing the entire board and superintendent. So that surprised me when another option could have been taken.
Another question here. When the transition is made for both you, Dr. Allen, and your board, you're going to try to work with the new appointed superintendent and the board of managers during the transition?
I will do whatever is allowed. I'm not certain exactly what that process is or what's allowed. My goal is to make certain that our kids are taken care of. I mean, this is my community. I've been in Beaumont ISD for 30 years, so I will always do my very best to support new incoming leadership to make certain that the kids in this organization is well taken care of.
Any other questions?
Are you going to be having any kind of meeting with the community and parents, also teachers?
We'll send out communication. We've sent communication to our internal team. Of course, we'll be sending information to our families. My understanding is that TEA will at some point host community town halls. I don't know when those will be, but they will facilitate those opportunities for TEA to actually come in, invite parents, and allow parents to ask their questions directly to TEA. Those will be coming, I think, sometime in the spring. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you found out this morning about the decision. Did your teachers find out before the press?
They did.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Should parents anticipate any kind of trickle effect when it comes to classroom instruction, or is this just at a board level and lower, or?
So this is at, the administrative level of superintendent as well as board of trustees. Our parents should expect us to continue educating their students. They should expect us to continue working toward the vision and mission of our organization. Teaching and learning is still happening tomorrow and the following day and the following day. So I really encourage our parents to, stay steadfast, and I encourage our staff. This is something that is very disappointing. It's frustrating, and our staff gets anxious when you look at the example that is in front of us, which is Houston ISD and their takeover, and things that we've read and seen in the media. When staff hears this, of course, they think about the most recent example. However, I want our staff to stay encouraged and motivated. Our story is not the story of Houston ISD. The story here is Beaumont ISD, and it is unique. So we can't compare our situation to another school district situation. So what I encourage our staff is to continue working, to continue executing their very best work every single day for all of our children.
I know they had mentioned before that when they would replace the board of managers, that the current board is allowed to still attend meetings and sit in, but they just won't have any voting power. Is there any option like that if you would want it for you to still be, I guess, kind of into what's happening in the district?
Well, as long as you're a citizen, of course, in the community, you have the right to participate in board meetings. But if I'm no longer the superintendent, of course, I wouldn't have any authority or ability to make decisions, only as, a local citizen in the community. So that's the only options that I would have if I'm not seated as superintendent.
Are there any board members that would like to make a comment right now?
I'm Thomas Segee. I would first say that I was disappointed in the decision, no more than Dr. Allen, because there were other options that could have been used. Right now, excuse me, the board is clicking. I got 4 educators on the board. I have a guy who volunteers tirelessly in the community, and we had the pieces, or so we thought. And when we talked to the commissioner, he gave us a good feeling that he was not going to make the decision to take over the district. So that's why I say I'm disappointed.
You got a shell shock today?
Yeah. I've been shell shocked before, for real, but yeah.
Mr. Segee is our board president.
And you can see the support. We're all here supporting Dr. Allen in this district. And as she said, things are going to continue to go down the road. We can't stop doing what we have to do to wait to see what TEA does. At this particular time, we have to continue to meet, plan, provide services to the students, and give the teachers everything they need to be successful. We don't have the option of just sitting around doing nothing. And I assure you that we're going to continue to go forward. Yes, ma'am.
When the board manager steps in, do you know how that process works? How long they stay? Do you guys step back in when they're done, per se, or hit certain goals?
Well, the commissioner will determine the length of the conservator.
Is there a map for that you guys are aware of? or-
Using the old map, they took over, and then they one by one allowed us to come back to the board, and they relinquished control back to the local board.
Did they set a timeline for how long this takeover will last?
So I will review the correspondence again, but I think at least maybe a couple of years, possibly. So not quite certain, but we'll receive additional information, but I think at least a couple of years.
And then do you feel if you had more time, that you guys would have been able to turn around?
Absolutely, absolutely. But our state only gives you can only have 5 consecutive years of low performance. And when you think about, like I stated, the challenges that we face that have been real challenges, the changes in the assessment, the changes in the accountability system, there are just a lot of factors that contribute to the performance of our students. When you walk in our schools, you look in our schools and they don't look like what that letter grade says. I say that all the time. You see dedicated staff working tirelessly. We face the same challenges that every other school district faces. However, many of ours are amplified because we have a higher percentage of students who are high poverty students, students who are educationally dependent. So that amplifies some of the struggles and the challenges that we face. But our intensity is also amplified. You know, the level of work and the commitment that we have because we know the impact of our work on this entire community. So, you know, I am, again, very disappointed by this decision and really and truly want to encourage our entire community to rally behind our kids. Okay, this is about kids. This is about children. So, you know, I know information will be in the media, information, you know, the commissioner had his press conference, which I'm, you know, not certain what he stated. But at the end of the day, let's think about our kids. So what we're saying, what we're putting out, you know, let's go back to is anything that we're saying and producing, let's think about what is going to be best for kids. So what's best for kids is for the staff to stay focused. So I don't want the staff to be distracted by all of the things that are happening and going on, because if they're distracted, then what? They're not educating the kids. So I really hope that we can keep that in mind as we move forward throughout the course of the next several weeks and months. Yes, sir.
Academically, at those 2 campuses, the academic results didn't really change within the last 5 years. What gives you the confidence to say that you believe it would have changed, and what would have been different moving forward had you had more?
Well, as I've stated before, you know, we closed M.L. King year before last because we were going through the rezoning process. We have lost enrollment, so of course, you know, we want to consolidate so we can maximize our resources. But every year, over the past several years, we have continued to implement new programs, new strategies. We've made adjustments to curriculum. We've done innovative things to make certain that we get teachers in the classroom. So we haven't been, again, standing still. We've been implementing new strategies. So this year, of course, you know, we've added new things to middle school curriculum. We've added advisory periods and additional time. We've double-blocked, implementing small group instruction, just continuing to refine and implement new strategies so that we can see the gains that we want to see across the board. You know, we've worked really hard to recruit, retain, and attract high-quality teachers. The board has done a phenomenal job supporting increasing compensation so we can increase our salaries so we can get teachers here. We've implemented, you know, some innovative programs to try to ensure that we have teachers in the classroom. Several things and several initiatives that we've been encountering over the course of the past several years. And every year we're adding something or doing something to improve student performance. It has been challenging for us because, you know, we've stated before, you know, the ratings in 23 and 24, I think, you know, were challenged because of the assessment and accountability system. So you have all of those things factoring into how our kids are performing on, you know, on this one snapshot. And right now, you know, this decision is being made on STAR performance. I understand, and we accept accountability for our students. But we know the STAR test is going away. The STAR test is going to be replaced with another assessment. So it's just a lot of things, and the system in Texas is different. We worked hard to try to get legislation changed in January, you know, meeting with our legislators, because we recognize the potential of something like this happening. So the board worked really hard to meet with our legislators and, hey, look, this is the problem, this is the scenario. Is there anything that can be done or amended during this legislative session so that school districts like Beaumont ISD, and again, Beaumont ISD is not the only school district in this scenario, so that this could change? And, you know, to no avail. So we are at this point right now. But again, I'm going to continue to go back to where we are now, is continuing to focus on educating the nearly 16,000 students in the community. That is the charge and the mission and the reason the organization exists, and we will continue to do that.
Dr. Allen, you can also remind the community that Fail Price was under the control of a charter
For the last, since 2018-19. So we haven't operated Fail Price Elementary School since the 2018-19 school year. We took over operations of that school this year when Third Future Schools prematurely abandoned the contract. And I think I've shared this in previous meetings. When you talk about systemic challenges in the community, which we have systemic issues in Beaumont. Over the course of my tenure, we've had 4 different outside partners to operate different schools, and none of those partners have been able to sustain academic success. So that just tells you that there are deep-rooted issues in our community. That's why I'm constantly asking for our community to come in and support us. That's why we're constantly asking for our parents to do what? To be involved and to support our schools. That's why we're constantly working on our perceptions so that, you know, we can recruit, retain, and attract high-quality individuals to our community, and that they don't hear, you know, negative things that most often are not true, you know, about our school district. So it just shows that there's some other issues happening that it takes time and it takes a community effort to impact.
Let's take one last question.
Dr. Allen, I just want to make a comment. Thank you. Yes, Denise Wallace Spooner, Secretary currently of the school board. I just want to reach out during this press conference, staying in sync with Dr. Allen, that this is to our community, and I'm at large in this community, in this city. Keep in mind, as she has said so eloquently, that this is just one day in the story of BISD, one day. And I never heard her once say the story has come to an end. And we continue to support, and as board members, I can speak for all of us, that we have the mindset that no matter what happens, we are a part of this community, and we want this community to strive and be the best that they can be. And a former theme that we have had, and I know I had that theme when I ran for office, always moving forward, striving for excellence. And that takes on every day. We must do that. So that's all I have to say. I want to say, keep in mind, this is only one day. And you know, reading is prevalent. And when you read a good book, you know how sometimes you read a good book and you say, I never want this story to come to an end. Or you even look at a good movie and you say, oh, is there going to be a part 2 or a sequel? So think of it like that. Thank you, Dr. Allen.
So do we have any other trustees who would like to make a comment before we conclude?
Just make one. My name is Robert Dunn, Vice President of the School Board. Just like everybody else up here, I'm very disappointed in the decision by the Educational Commissioner. The conversations that we had with him back in September kind of led us to believe that a different outcome was going to be. We are vastly improving the education of these kids. I'm positive that the scores are going to be a lot higher this time. We implemented a whole lot of different programs, putting in the pouches to taking the phones away from the kids, And the principals are excited about that. The teachers are excited about that. The kids are engaged in actually talking to each other instead of texting. So we are on the up move right now. And we were just asking for an opportunity to show not only the education commissioner, but the community that we can do this. We all are part of this community. Several of us are educators, and we've been really working hard. Dr. Allen's staff has been really working hard. And it's just sad that this outcome is what the Education Commission decided to do. Thank you. Anybody?
Anybody else? Ms. Higgins?
Yeah. Want to say something?
Okay. So I think this concludes our press conference today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, and if any of members of the media need anything else, feel free to contact me. Thank you.